Today is it must be 2/12 maybe. I think so. Okay. So I was trying to figure out, I'm like, what am I going to talk about today's live, to be honest? And I couldn't figure it out. And so then I just started looking around my place and being like, let me get inspired by something. Because sometimes there are days, like I'm doing this 365-day live, and then there are days where I have nothing to say. And, like I've done a few videos where it's like I have nothing to talk about. And then, sometimes when I have nothing to say, I give a life update. But there's like not much to share with life update other than the fact that I am going back to Whistler this Wednesday, picking up my mom from the airport on Wednesday in Vancouver. And then we're going to Whistler. So excited to see her. I haven't seen my parents since 2019. So I'm stoked for that. I'm super stoked to see it. And so that's like basically the short version of life update. Other than that, the idea that came to me, so if you are doing a 365-day live or even a 30-day live, and you're just like, there are moments where you're like, I don't know what to talk about, look around your house. You'll get ideas, because I just got an idea. I'm going to share my favorite books, self-help books, not novels. Maybe I'll do that on another one, but I would have to kind of really sit down with the novels and think about it, because I've read so many novels, so many. So I decided to kind of take a list. There is one book that is not here that I do love, which I'll just quickly talk about now. It's called The Untethered Soul. That book is absolutely amazing. It's not here. I think it might still be in storage, so I hope it's in storage. That book is just phenomenal. Basically, it's a spiritual book, and really guiding you to getting out of your mind and into your body, and the thoughts that you have and how they aren't true. As your mind tries to play tricks on you to keep you safe and comfortable. And create stories that are not true. So that was definitely, when I read The Untethered Soul, was when I first started my spiritual journey. So it was definitely a very good book to get into then. So I'm going to just go through the pile that I have in front of me. So this book, The Firestarter Sessions by Danielle LaPorte. So this one over here. This one, I got it when I first started my life coaching journey. And I haven't read it in a while, but there is some really incredible, powerful journal prompts. To kind of really get you going and to light that fire under you. Lots of good journal prompts, lots of things to reflect on. And if I kind of vision prompting, what else here? Your fears and your comfort zones, and that type of style of coaching book. Then you got your Badass by Jen Sincero, and even her money one is really good too. So these are both they're both really good. What I liked about Jen Sincero's books is that they are very motivating and they are inspiring in terms of if you, I guess are in a place where you feel stuck and don't have any creative ideas in what you want to do, whether it's in your life or in your business. I find her book is definitely sparks the ideas, because she gives a lot of examples. So then she really gets you to think about different creative ideas. And that's what I love about it. The money one that she has, I listened to it as an audiobook, and I thought that was really cool. I was listening in a car when I used to drive to work. And so that one also inspired me to really come up with creative ideas of how to make money. So if you are looking for something to just get inspiration and creative ideas, she's the go-to. Money book. Oh my God. Amanda Frances, Rich as Fuck. This is the best money book I've ever read. Hands down. So many journal prompts. I love her style. I love her writing. This is actually the most recent book I've read in the self-help world. And honestly, it's my favorite. I love it. I love it. I just like, I find myself like going back and rereading it, rereading certain chapters as she tackles every aspect of money. And she really like, take those limiting beliefs and she like breaks them. And it's just amazing. I think there was one there like, when people are like, well, like working hard means like making a lot of money. And then all she writes is like, well, if that were the case, then teachers would be rich, wouldn't they? And so things like that I just like, I love her, kind of like the way she explains things and the way she really breaks down those limiting beliefs. It's amazing. Lots and lots of journal prompts, really makes you rethink your money story and kind of like working on that money relationship. And so love Amanda Frances, love her book. So this one is called The Adventure of Purpose, by Travis Barton. So he was actually one of my coaches. I did, a program with him a couple of years back. And I remember when he had finished writing this book, I decided, I was like, oh, I'm going to buy it. And then it took a while for the publishing company to like print it and put it out. And then they did, and I received it, much later, and it was still lovely to read. I love this book. So if you are somebody who loves to travel, loves travel stories, if you have a passion for surfing, and it's like that surfing travel coaching blend, and it is like, it's just these stories that he shares in there of the people that inspired him on his travels. It's really beautiful. And yeah, it's a nice book. It's a really nice book. And I just like, I am somebody who I've been an advocate about breaking rules, always getting out of my comfort zone. So there was like a lot of this, like when I was reading it, that I saw myself in it. And so it's nice to kind of like to be able to connect with someone like who, writes like the book. After this, okay, so these two are going to go together because they're by the same author. 4 Agreements, and then The Mastery of Love. So same author, The 4 Agreements. This book is amazing. Honestly, I think like every person in the planet should read this book, and I don't know, like go buy it for like, like live by it, because it really, it's like the foundation of emotional intelligence, basically. Not like reacting to something and like really just, yeah. So, okay, so the 4 agreements, I'll break it down. 4 agreements: be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. Those are the 4 agreements. Imagine if the entire world were to like follow this, like how much better the world would be. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, it's a beautiful foundation, and I just like love the way he explains things. And then The Mastery of Love. So if you are interested in those relationship type of books, The Mastery of Love is that, as well. So it is in that same kind of theme, especially like with the don't make assumptions, and, like really talking about the relationship and like that aspect. So I actually want to read this soon, though, putting that on reread it. The second book, so this is like the Amanda Frances, so I have certain books that I consider like are my Bible, so to speak, that I go back to over and over because like their information is so potent. So the Amanda Frances book is one of them. But then this one is a moonology book. So if you are curious with working with the moon cycle and understanding how the moon cycle works with like, the new moon and the full moon, and also like this author has the 2 oracle decks, which I also have. And so getting the book alongside with the oracle decks has helped me a lot in understanding the moon cycle. This is actually like the beginning for me of like, as I got into learning more and more about astrology. It really started with this book, but I go back to this book all the time, because like really breaks it down. Like, let's say, you want to manifest with like the full moon or the new moon. She recommends manifesting with the new moon and letting go with the full moon. So, and then she mentions like, which moon is associated with what crystals, what essential oils. Like, it really breaks it down. So it's really cool. There's like a lot of different elements to it. Next book, this one I read, I didn't fully finish it, but I read it more recently. I'm almost done. I read it more recently, and it was a book of everything I knew, but it was a gentle reminder. So this book is really good. The Universe Has Your Back. It's a book on spirituality and manifestations and energetics in that aspect. And so it's things I already knew, but rereading it, it was a nice, beautiful, gentle reminder. And she does have some really cool, like, she gives you like really cool things to do in it, and how to work with the universe, especially when it comes to manifestation. And so I did really much enjoy that. Then the other book I have here is The 5 Love Languages, obviously. And if you don't know about the 5 love languages, this book is good. The reason why I bought the book and I like read the book is because I find like he gives like examples. Yeah, it's a he. Yeah, he gives examples on different situations of like what those love languages will look like. So sometimes like, you know, if we think of like a love language, we think it from like one interpretation or one example based on our experiences. So the book is nice because he gives like, you know, his experiences with his clients of like different examples of how that love language can show up differently. And so that's why I appreciate the book and why I read it. So those are like basically like my top that I picked. I definitely have like some other books. There's like the coaching book by like Rich Litvin, which that one is a good coaching book. If you are getting started in coaching, but also with that book, it is very much like some ways that I no longer agree with in the coaching world. And so that's why it's like, it was good for me when I first got into coaching. It was good for me like a few years ago, but now like reading it, it doesn't land, like, not that it doesn't land the same way. It's more like, okay, well, this is not how I want to do my coaching anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm allowed to like grow and evolve. What else? But yeah, so these have been like my top books. Like, there's definitely some other ones I really want to get into. I do want to read Dr. Joe Dispenza. I haven't read his books, but I have seen his series on Gaia.com, and that, like, I really loved it. I loved his like perception on the mind, meditation, the scientific aspect that he brings into it, and also like the energetics and like the quantum world and how he explains on that. So that is something I do want to get into and listen, either buy one of his audiobooks or just get one of his like actual books. But yeah, so those are some of my book recommendations. And so if you have read any of them, let me know. If there are some in this list that you're like, ooh, I want to read this, like, also write in the comments. Appreciate it all. And yeah, I will speak to you all tomorrow. And yay. Okay. Bye.